The wellness industry promises us a better life through the consumption of very specific products and services, ranging from mindfulness apps to health supplements to skincare routines or activities like the cold plunge. These things can be just kind of misleading to straight up scams, and they are making billions of dollars in the process. So when we started the researching for this video, I had no idea what we were getting into. Because as we learned in the making of this, the global wellness industry is valued at $5.6 trillion. The industry itself is so big that it is also referred to as the wellness economy, which stretches across everything from personal care to physical fitness, spas, healthy eating, tourism, and even real estate. So with that massive industry, you have to sort of wonder what wellness even means, right? Well, it turns out that this isn't the easiest thing to answer, even from the industry itself. The Global Wellness Institute defines wellness as the active pursuit of activities, choices, and lifestyles that lead to a state of holistic health. They define the wellness economy as anything that enables consumers to incorporate wellness activities into their daily life. Which basically means that, and this is completely serious, wellness is whatever you as a person want it to mean. And as we are going to get to in this video, that is very much on purpose. So we found a line in an independent article that I think sums this up really well. The entire concept of wellness is founded on the idea that just because you aren't sick, it doesn't mean that you're not unwell. The entire wellness industry relies on people inherently believing that they are unhealthy or somehow not good enough, not living optimally or whatever, and so they therefore must buy something or do something to fix it and live a better life. It is the endless pursuit of this idea of perfection. And this is not even a new idea. Like, this concept started taking off in the later half of the 20th century. The modern use of the word wellness dates back to the 1950s when a doctor named Albert L. Dunn published his book, High Level Wellness, which honestly sounds like something that one of these crypto bros could be launching in 2024. Dunn said that in order to live well, we need to thrive, not just survive. And so to do this, we need a target, a goal that we can pursue with positivity and optimism. And I want to be clear that at this point in this story, this was a legitimate field of study that was being pioneered, an honest effort to maybe help people be healthier. But by the 1980s, corporate America had started to take notice of this trend's potential. Companies began developing workplace wellness programs. The fitness industry and spa industries globally experienced rapid growth, and a lineup of celebrities and self-help experts started bringing wellness concepts to mainstream audiences. Think like Oprah, Deepak Chopra, people like that. By 2014, wellness became entrenched in our collective psyche, and at this point, things have already come off the rails in a big way. I mean, we got Oprah, a multi-millionaire TV host personality promoting wellness products, right? Like, she's also at the same time promoting unsustainable and wildly unhealthy weight loss methods. And listen, you don't have to take it from us. That's what she said herself. And things today have only become more unhinged. Between 2015 and 2017, the wellness industry grew from 3.7 trillion to 4.2 trillion, and it's only gone up from there. Today, the wellness space is everywhere. We got the Kardashians, we got Gwyneth Paltrow with all their weird products that we've mentioned in videos previously. But the scope is also just wider than it's ever been because we've got more famous people, right? We got influencers promoting brands like AirUp, AG1, BetterHelp, which are some that you might recognize, and we've made a video about 2 of them. Let us know if you want us to make a video about the 3rd one. BetterHelp would be such a good sponsor for this channel if it wasn't an absolute nightmare. But before we get further down this road, I think we need to establish the spectrum of things that we're talking about when we refer to wellness products. Because as we mentioned, there's a lot of stuff going on here. Now, I want to say also off the top that there is a lot of things within this wellness industry that can bring a lot of value to people's lives. Things like cold plunges and pelotons often involve products centered around an activity that if you do, you will probably feel better. However, in most cases, you're most likely being sold an overpriced product when you could just ride a bike or go for a swim. But the farther you go down the wellness rabbit hole, the weirder and more scammy things get. Now, of course, we've mentioned the Kardashians as one end of this spectrum, right? And honestly, it's kind of been beaten to death. So today, I wanted to talk about something that's seemingly more innocuous, but shows pretty clearly how this industry manipulates us into buying stuff. One of the latest wellness trends that's exploded across the industry right now is the cold plunge. Like a lot of wellness products, a cold plunge is not a new idea, but rather something simple that has been repackaged into a marketable trend with incredible promises, not only to improve someone's health, but also their performance in all aspects of life. Cold plunges or ice baths or just swimming in the ocean have cultural roots in cultures all around the world. The tradition has been in Asian and Scandinavian cultures for literally centuries, and the recent surge has piggybacked on this cultural connection. And you actually see this quite a lot in the wellness space. Crystals, meditation, yoga. The wellness industry often borrows from other cultures because it validates the significance of this activity. Most of today's wellness trends come from specific cultures or ancient civilizations, but what is lost is the context, the culture and the community that the activity was derived from. Instead, in most cases, the trend becomes compartmentalized and promoted in order to sell a very specific lineup of products. And once again, I want to reiterate that this does not mean that it's a terrible thing. I do yoga, and even though I'm not connected to the deep roots of that activity's culture, I am still stretching, right? But where this gets toxic is when the activity is just a means to an end, to sell a sense of self that only a certain product can achieve. The cold plunge found its modern-day social media champion in Wim Hof, a Dutch world record holder known for his ability to withstand extremely low temperature water. He used that platform to tell the world about the health benefits of ice baths, how they can increase blood flow, stimulate weight loss, and even reduce anxiety and depression. Scientific evidence on any of these claims are pretty mixed at best, and the Wim Hof method has actually been linked to death in several cases. But the trendiness of these things seems to be hard for us as humans to give up. CNN blew the whistle on cold water immersion in an article released on March 14th of this year. But then they released a list of their favorite cold plunge tubs 9 days later. It seems impossible to scroll through Instagram or TikTok without coming across a video on our feed with somebody telling us about the life-changing benefits of cold plunges or seeing an influencer climb into one. And this is crucially a part of the trend's success, I think. Cold showers, the ice bucket challenge, cold plunges of whatever variety, all have that wince factor for the viewer, right? Even if you're not buying into the trend yourself, you still kind of want to watch a hot influencer freeze their ass off for your own entertainment. There's a whole debate about whether or not cold plunges, or cold therapy as it's sometimes known, has any kind of real health benefits or not. Our friends over at Answer in Progress made a whole video about that particular part of the story if you want to know more, but really, that's a whole other issue. What's interesting to us is that the plunge is just more of a vessel, literally, for more consumption. There's the tubs themselves, of course, that can cost $10,000 in some cases. There are fancy gyms and wellness studios where you can sign up with a monthly membership to cold plunge on the regular. But more so, the cold plunge culture has become associated with hustle and gimp culture? That'd be kind of interesting. What cold plunge culture has become is a part of hustle culture, of gym culture. The latest thing that you must do if you are serious about training and optimizing yourself to become the most alpha version that you can be is if you're cold plunging. From celebrities on AD tours showing off their special cold plunge setups to Joe Rogan evangelizing about the benefits of it on social media, cold plunging has become a marker of your health and grit and perseverance and like business savvy or whatever. And for the third time, I'm going to remind you that there are benefits to doing a cold plunge. I love a sauna. I love a good dip in the ocean. But while some of these will probably make you feel better, they are realistically just capitalism's answer to one of capitalism's many problems. In an overworked, socially isolated, and increasingly unhealthy world, the wellness industry sells us the solutions that can be found for free in nature, but for a price. If you start looking at almost all of the products in the wellness canon, they can all basically be solved by going outside. But the sad thing is, not a lot of us do that anymore. Not everybody has a cold lake or river nearby that they can just jump into whenever they're feeling depressed. A lot of us live in cities, and our 9-to-5 jobs don't let us spend time in nature on a regular basis or at all. So it's easy for us to be manipulated into buying back those experiences when they are marketed as an investment in our wellness. And ironically, wellness companies know this, and they often refer to this fractured relationship between humans and the land or water or air that sustain us before promising that they have the perfect solution for you. Take Aphora, for example, which is a water company with the literal tagline, "Water for Wellness." On their website, Aphora claims to restore water back to the way nature intended. It tells the story about how the founders and people in general used to drink water fresh out of lakes and streams, but now all the water that we drink is filled with microplastics, pesticides, and heavy metals, and we're all gonna die, right? So their solution is an $80 half gallon of nano-purified, hyper-oxygenated water. Fortunately, we didn't have to do a ton of research into this one because some guy on TikTok sent this water to a laboratory to see if it really did what it claimed to do. And it turns out that Aphora isn't even clear of the contaminants that they say are destroying our bodies. Hilarious. If you want to hear us talk about this phenomenon more on our podcast, we went through a sort of roulette style game show where we tried to identify real and fake wellness company slogans.
A bartender baker, when he stepped into that clawfoot tub, Greg emerged a bathologist. I'm gonna say this is fake.
Yeah, it's real though.
And yeah, it's hilarious and depressing. If you want to support what we do on this channel, our Patreon page is the best place to do that. We release exclusive content over there, including the podcast and some episodes of this show that didn't make it onto YouTube. You also get early access to every single video that goes live on this channel, and you're helping us make this content free for people online to enjoy. So consider doing that through the link down in the description below. The way that the wellness industry talks about themselves is kind of incredible. They are always coming to the rescue with this religious reverence for nature, with promises and solutions, offering endless products and ideas to people in need of something, anything that will improve their lives. And this is where the wellness industry gets kind of dangerous. Think about so many of these core sectors of the wellness world, right? Gratitude journaling and affirmations, the physical exercise, flexibility. All of these things can genuinely improve your physical and mental well-being. The problem is, in many cases, they're selling you solutions to your problems that you may not even have, because you first must buy into the idea that you have a problem before you can buy the solution to make you feel well. Cold plunging every day might make you feel more awake or make your muscles less achy, but it has no power to change the circumstances of your life. And it's only a matter of time before it's replaced by the next wellness trend. This wellness industry relies on the fact that you feel that the reason that life is so hard is not because of the way that we've structured our society or the systems that we live in, but because you are simply not doing enough to live your best life. Because at its core, wellness culture offers individualistic, capitalism-approved responses to real problems without any substance or acknowledgement of the actual issues facing society. Wellness culture transforms your struggles into an individual moral failing rather than a collective experience, acknowledging that life is pretty hard right now and that a lot of people are having a tough time. If we are so focused on our individual wellness journeys, we will be less likely to start any kind of collective action to make the world better that we live in together. In other words, if we're busy exercising and cold plunging and working and working and working and working, we won't have the time and energy or will to change the much more complex structural issues of our society. All of these wellness products demand an incredible amount of focus on the self and a lot of effort and time. You can hear it in the buzzwords like self-care, self-soothing, and self-optimization. It's the idea that you alone are responsible for your own well-being, as if the world around you and your environment was meaningless. We hope that you enjoyed today's video. If you want to see more content like this, remember to subscribe, and you'll see us every single week for another upload.